Greetings. I present you my riverside highlights from Budapest to Storovo. There are many ways to achieve seeing them, either by car, bus, boat, cruises, and by walking. Or if you want a closer look, as well as some independence, I suggest doing this by bicycle. The Duna, or Danube, as known in English, has to be the most famous and celebrated river in Europe. Starting its 2,860-kilometer journey from Germany, the legendary Duna, with many boats and ships, carries its elegant flow in an easterly direction, passing by many famous landmarks. In particular, Vienna, where the Duna proceeds. Further with its fame, with the famous Blue Danube Waltz by Strauss, before venturing on to Bratislava and beyond. From Bratislava, the Duna distinguishes a part borderline between Slovakia and Hungary, and turns southwards at Storovo and the majestic Duna Bend, that carries spectacular beauty and renown before arriving at Budapest, the great river city. The flow continues another 400 kilometers southwards and meets with the River Sava at Belgrade onto the wondrous Kazan Straits, towards the Bulgarian borderline, before turning northeastwards again onto East Romania to the unique Duna Delta region and finally ending up at the grandiose Black Sea. Exploring the Duna at any time of the year is always a pleasure, whether it's because of the splendor of the high summer scenery, as in these pictures, or during early spring or late autumn, when the colors of the landscape vary and fluctuate. And not forgetting the winter, when the leaves are down, the crowds are few, and on a clear day, the views are even more spectacular. I often venture from Budapest to Storovo, probably the most famous and scenic part of the Duna riverside. There are many boat rides and cruises available all year round. Information is easily found on websites and the Budapest Tourist Information Bureaus. For a first impression, I'd like to show you the Duna from the Citadella Hill on top of the Buda site. That gives a wondrous view of the Duna and the city centre. On the horizon, on the Buda Hills, in between Budapest is Margaret Island, a restful place for families and children, and makes a pleasant getaway from the hustle and bustle of the city. Facing opposite on the Pest riverside is the National Gallery, hosting national and international artworks that lead to the enchanting Castle District and to many galleries, meandering streets, cosy corners, hotels, as well as the famous Matthias Church and the Halas Bastion Lookout Tower. On the more commercial Pest side stands many fine office and residential buildings and luxury hotels, as well as the architecturally famed Parliament building. We continue northwards along the Buda side, passing the grandiose Széchenyi Landseat, the chain bridge with imperialistic lions perched on either side, and from behind is the world's famous Ország House, the Hungarian Parliament building. This unique UNESCO World Heritage Site is situated in Kossuth Lajos Square and built between 1885 to 1904, and is a unique architectural wonder. This exquisite building itself is of Gothic Revival style, whilst the elegant domes are of Renaissance Revival style. Boats and ships pass by here every day. Continuing along the same side, our sortie takes us 20 kilometers further upstream to the quaint Saint-André, or in English called St. Andrew. This enchanting small town, dating back from 1146, has a calm provincial atmosphere and is a mecca for local artists, authors, poets, musicians, and actors. There are many little churches of various dominions, as well as fine galleries, lots of restaurants, novelty souvenir shops to welcome the visitors. Should camping be your style, there's a wonderful Pap Siget campsite just a little further upstream from the town. Another 20 kilometers further along is the well-known route. It's the medieval castle town of Visegrád, alongside the Nagymaros directly opposite. There are two main towns on the illustrious Duna Bend that connect with a ferry. From Visegrád Castle, one gets the best view of the immediate area. The further upstream one gets, the more wild and varied the landscape becomes, and the port to take in the splendor of the Domos rocky peaks with my daughter Judy. 20 kilometers later, I arrive at the royal town of Esztergom, with the highly symbolic basilica before me. Esztergom is a truly Danubian place and has a spiritual presence. Pope John Paul II visited here in 1990 and is the centre of the Hungarian Catholic Church. Once you have walked the romantic cobblestone streets, passing by many buildings up to the Basilica grounds, a fine panorama of Slovakia awaits, as one immediately sees Storovo. To get there, head towards the Maria Valeria Friendship Bridge. To get the best view of the Esztergom Basilica, visit anywhere along the Storovo River shoreline. Storovo is the most southern part of Slovakia. It's a pleasant town that provides ideal rest before either venturing 150 kilometers along the Duna cycle path to Bratislava, or in this case, returning to Budapest on the opposite side. I would like to take you to my favourite area of the Danube, the lesser known other side. For this, I have to make a 10-kilometer same-way return to the tiny Pilis-Maros harbour and take the 10-minute ferry crossing to the Sob shoreline. As the tugboat ambles along, there is Slovakia on one side of the river and Hungary on the other. Sob, with its fabulous river scenery, has a wonderful atmosphere and very much worth a visit. This unruffled Duna scenery at its most natural, without the crowds, just off from the number 12 road and cycle lane, is at its scenic best. The Duna flows downstream towards the tourist-friendly Nagymaros, with swimmers on the shoreline and the Vishrike Castle in plain view. 15 kilometers from Nagymaros is the elegant riverside town of Vas, similar to Esztergom, with much to see and do, with many restaurants and amenities on hand. From Vas, I took the ferry to St. Andrew Island and made my way southwards to another ferry crossing to Dunakezi. Once again, the immediate riverside, with its grand riverside scenery, is a paradise for swimmers and walkers and cyclists alike. Finally, I returned to Budapest that summer's evening. The Pestside River, with its many bars and restaurants, were in full flow as many tourists and local people congregate together to capture the scenic riverside's nighttime atmosphere. Buda, along with Pest and the river, all complement each other and is generally well known to explore Buda by day and Pest by night. To round this off, I wish to take you somewhere unexpected and special. Well, special to me because I am English and this came to me as a sudden surprise. To achieve this, we must return to the Buda side and cycle 12 kilometers southwards to the lesser-known riverside suburb of Budafok. Facing opposite in the even more lesser-known Chepel Island, with its industrial Chepel Muvek works and tall imposing chimneys, all very much off the tourist trail. Cycling further along with a particular cycle lane is the unexpected, as there stands 2 English red double-decker buses. At the surreal landmark is a buffet and a welcome rest for the weary cyclists as I declare my English identity to the friendly staff who served me pancakes and ginger beer. A little later I photographed the buses from Chepel Siget with a Cisdellan view. I end this riverside tour knowing this venture continues for another time, with its history, mystery and magic continues its flow southwards in its eternal waltz. This is Alexander Stemp reporting exclusively for Nasha TV.